Hello, my name is Tanisha Thomas, and this presentation is a part of my Week 5 assignment for my communications class. The name of the article is Social Anxiety and Self-Presentation, a Conceptualization and Model by Barry R. Schlenker and Mark R. Leary. I hope I said that right. The thesis of this article presents a self-presentation approach to the study of social anxiety that proposes that social anxiety arises when people are motivated to make a preferred impression on real or imagined audiences, but doubt that they'll do so. It also examines the concept of social anxiety, the experience of it, the varieties of social anxiety, the behaviors, the consequences of those behaviors, and some counseling. Varieties, and it forms in different ways. Some people, can just be scared or just be real jumpy or tense. Others can be more severe, where they have chest pains and panic attacks and sweating. What exactly is social anxiety? Social anxiety is a discomfort or a fear when a person is in a social interactions or environment that involved a concern about being judged or evaluated by others. Research shows that social anxious people tend to underestimate their social skills, so they have doubt within themselves. They rate themselves negatively, and it can, again, range from something being very small to where it hinders them from everyday life. Behaviors of social anxiety. One is they avoid entering social situations. They just avoid it altogether. If they are in a social gathering, they will, play on their phones or act like they're listening to music to avoid someone starting a conversation with them. If they do converse with someone, they apologize excessively, or they end up asking for reassurance from others. Again, the symptoms can be shaky hands, a racing heart, shortness of breath, sweating. There are 9 propositions. Social anxiety as a function of the self-presentation of problems. Propositions 1 and 2. Proposition 1. Social anxiety arises in real or imagined social situations when people are motivated to make a particular impression on others but doubt that they will do so. The more important the goal is, the greater the motivation will be. The outcome expectancies will be affected by the nature of the situation. Proposition number 2. An assessment process is triggered when the self-presentational goal is important to the individual or the social performance is hindered. As the importance of the performance increases, people will become more highly motivated to make a preferred impression on others. 3 and 4. Number 3, if the assessment leads to the expectation that one can create the preferred impression on others, the individual will continue to work toward that objective. Once people develop a favorable outcome, social anxiety will not occur. Propositional 4. If the assessment leads to the expectation that one cannot create the preferred impression on others, the response will be withdrawal, and the individual will experience a negative effect. Social anxiety occurs in such situations, and people will avoid the social situation if doing so is possible. People appear to avoid, if possible, affiliating with specific others when they are concerned with impressing them and doubt that they will receive satisfactory reactions. And 6. If withdrawal is not possible, people become trapped in the assessment stage, re-examining themselves and the situation and replaying the problems they confront. Avoiding or withdrawing from anxiety-producing social situations isn't always possible. The greater the anxiety, the more self-preoccupation will occur. Number 6. When people are frozen in the assessment phase and unable to withdraw, they will enact alternative self-presentation, but more viable. By remaining silent, not interrupting others, smiling and nodding, and withholding information about themselves, they protect themselves and appear not assertively friendly or social. For example, socially anxious people might hedge their statements with comments such as, "Sometimes I think that," or "I could be wrong, but," or "I haven't given it much thought." Number 7, people will avoid attributing self-presentational difficulties to the extent that they can find viable alternative explanation for the problem. Meaning they will give excuses, like "I didn't get much sleep last night," or "I've had a lot on my mind," or "if only I had planned better," that kind of thing. Number 8, people are likely to employ self-handicapping tactics when more attractive alternate explanations for self-presentation problems are unavailable. For example, if an individual fails in some kind of social endeavor, they may be drinking or something, and that way they can blame it on the alcohol and say, "Well, I only acted that way because I had a little bit too much to drink." People who conceptualize themselves as socially anxious are more likely to experience social anxiety and display the behaviors associated with anxiety across a wide range of social situations. For me, the understanding of this proposition is saying that this type of social anxiety can be chronic, where in every situation there is always anxiety. I'm going outside to my car, I'm anxious about that. I'm anxious about going to work. I'm anxious about getting ready for work. So every aspect is anxiety. But there are ways for people to get help with this. One most common way is through therapy, and in this case it's called cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. It is to guide the patient's thoughts in a more rational direction when faced with anxiety. It will help the person to stop avoiding certain situations that cause the anxiety and teaches people how to react differently to situations that trigger those anxieties. There's also relaxation techniques where people learn how to, breathe slowly and concentrate on that. There is also diet regimens where maybe someone is, they stop smoking or drinking, or even just consuming any kind of caffeine that can trigger you being nervous. And of course, there's always medications, Xanax, Valium, antidepressants as Paxil, and sometimes it's a combination of therapy and medication and diet. It could be all four, it could be one or two, or it could just be one. In conclusion, social anxiety indicated a perceived threat to identities of those who experience, since it reflects concerns about how they are regarded in social life. Speaking from experience, I don't necessarily have social anxiety for the most part, but I can experience it every now and then, especially if it's something to why I don't really know much about it. So my anxiety stems from the unknown. I don't know these people. I don't know, much about the event or place that I'm going. So there is anxiety about that. And even this presentation caused anxiety because I just wanted to make sure that I kind of got the article presented in the correct way. So I hope you learned something today about social anxiety. Thank you very much.